Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning, Sai Kumar garu. Nenu Vijay Prasad, director, Arts and Science College.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
We met 2-3 times my college ke.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
Doing great.
Very nice to see you in our school.
It's my pleasure.
So good. Okay. Fine.
Sir, even first time I attended SARS virtual meeting at Sultanulum Educational Institution. Then same topic. Then I felt really it is required for our teachers also. Then next day I called sir. I requested sir to have a session with us. Immediately sir have given acceptance. In spite of sir's busy schedule, sir given acceptance, and today we have sir with us. Sir brief profile we read now. Maria will take care about SARS profile, a small profile. We are not taking much of your time for introducing SAR.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Maria from the Department of English. I handle classes 7 and 9, and I consider it a great honor to go ahead reading the biodata of SIRS. Professor Sai Kumar Garu took premature retirement on December 31, 2014 to pursue his personal agenda. Professor has only one passion, the rise of great youth. He felt something was missing in the academic world. He felt that he needed to do something much more. He wanted to create an impact on the society by inspiring students and young faculty, ignite their minds, and involve them in career building, cultivating to make a difference. He is a strong believer in citizen social responsibility. In the last 5.5 years, he delivered 600 plus lectures, conducted 150 plus FTPs, and 140 plus SSDPs at various colleges and universities without taking a single rupee. Professor Sai Kumar Garu is a gifted teacher, noted orator, able academic administrator, and a team worker. He was a mentor to students in molding them for better employment career. He organized a number of conferences both at national and international level. His passion is to help people reach their personal and professional potential. He has been conferred the award of International Man of the Year for IT Education by the International Biographical Center at Cambridge. In grateful recognition of his services, the CSI has conferred on him the Patron Award. He served as the chairman, the vice chairman, and the secretary at CSI. Professor has also been conferred with the award Fellow of CSI. He received Inspiring Teacher Award for Inspiring Teachers Academy. Professor has trained several batches of IAS and IPS officers on use of IT and also the corporate executives. He has adjudged as the best trainer. In the last 35 years, Professor has conducted about 300 plus training programs for the corporate sector. We consider ourselves to be very fortunate, I think beyond fortunate, for being a part of today's online webinar with such an impeccable personality. Thank you.
I request our General Secretary, sir, to address our school teachers and other various institution staff members.
Kumari.
Sir.
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Kumari garu.
Sir. Namaskaram, sir. Sir, Achutram Prasad, sir. Can you listen me, sir? సార్ మీ వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదు సార్.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి.
సార్ మీరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి సార్.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes sir, we can.
Am I audible?
Yes sir.
Okay. A very good morning to all of you, and it's indeed a pleasure to have with us today Professor M.L. Sai Kumar Garu. It's a privilege that you're addressing as a keynote speaker for the webinar. Very important seminar. The subject itself is very, very contemporary and the need of the hour. And I like the title, Effective Online Classroom Management. The two operating words, since you are a professor, effective, and that's a very important one. It's not just enough that we just do online classes. We have to be effective. And second aspect of it is, how do we manage it? That's a very, very important one. So I'm sure our faculty members and all the students will have the benefit of your experience in this regard. And also, I believe that learning is a continuous process. And the only thing that's change is constant. And with the change that is happening constantly, we have to learn to live with it. We have to learn to adopt it and make the best out of it. We have very little choice insofar as I don't think we should even try to challenge the change. We should learn to adapt and improve, especially in these days of disruptive changes that are taking place so rapidly. So with these few words, I once again welcome Professor Sai Kumar Garu for this webinar as a keynote speaker. Thank you.
May I request Durga Prasad sir? Can you address the...
Ma'am, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. And I really don't think that we should all be speaking one after another. We'll leave the floor to the speaker of the day, Sai Kumar Garu. Please carry on, sir.
Achutram Prasad Garu, our school chairman, sir. Can you address, sir? Chairman, sir.
Hello.
Sir, Chairman, sir, can you address the gathering?
Good morning to everybody. Please carry on to our guest for Sai Kumar Garu. Maatladamaranడి.
Thank you, sir. Sai Kumar, sir, may I request you to start your session?
A very good morning to all the members present, the management committee members, honorable principal, and esteemed teachers. The Vignan Jyoti group of institutions is not new to me. I had addressed in the past at your engineering college and also at management base school and also at Institute of Arts and Science. School, I'm coming for the first time. In fact, I rarely do programs for the schools. 80% of my programs for engineering college, I do it. And occasionally when something comes up, I just accept, otherwise, no. Maybe yearly one program at the max. That's what I do for the schools. Well, my dear teachers, I'm going to speak from my heart. I don't have any planned presentation and so on, just talk extempore. I'd like to raise this session with some questions. First and foremost, who and what is a teacher? Who should be called a teacher and what is the role is? The second question I would like to raise is, what makes you successful and perhaps even extraordinary teachers? We don't want just teachers, they have to be extraordinary teachers because the future of the country is in the hands of the teachers. And the third question I'd like to raise is there still a place for teaching in the future and will we become more effective? Please remember, teaching profession cannot be replaced. Any other profession may be able to replace, but here it's not possible. The next question comes up is, quite often we say the present generation of youth are not so serious of studies. So in that context, are we wasting our time on a lost cause and a generation out of control? generation out of control. The next question I come up is, what will your students remember about you? How do they remember over the years? Did you create a brand yourself? Did you create an impact on the minds of the students? Just not imparting the knowledge, can you create impact on their minds? If you're a good teacher, that's fine, but it won't do. You need to travel the distance from being good to great. You need to move it. Good is not sufficient today. We need great teachers. At this point of time, the nation needs much more. We all certainly entered this area of need for online education due to pandemics which has come up. Online education is now an inseparable part of education. This pandemic may go tomorrow, but still the online education is going to continue. Take it from it, it's going to happen. The world, as you know, it has changed in the blink of an eye. Just in a fraction of a second, the entire world has changed. Sudden announcement of corona and so on. And schools and colleges closed overnight. The government took a decision and closed the schools and colleges. Students felt they were liberated from attending schools and colleges, but later they realized they were confined to their own homes. They were not allowed to go out. The big challenge for the students, especially the youth college students, is more difficult. And with regard to school children, parents had to grapple with keeping children productive at home. Almost 5 months. And keeping them productive at home is not easy job. Majority of you are also parents, you understand the difficulty, other side of the coin. In the stress of lockdown, hand washing and tracking global scenario of the virus, we were busy. No one has paid to the sudden stress on the often neglected group, that is teachers. No one has paid heed to the sudden stress on that often neglected group, that is teachers. With schools and colleges remaining closed for an extended duration, though initially they said 18 days, 21 days, and so on, went on. Extended duration, and came the reality of online teaching. Suddenly, it was no longer a buzzword. Education technology is known to us, but now everyone has to do it. Technology has to be started using it. My dear teachers, let me tell you, technology will not replace teachers. Take it from me. Technology will not replace it. But teachers who do not use technology will be replaced. That's going to happen. So be ready for that. It's time to invest yourself as an agile educator. Certainly, who has to ready to take center stage at a moment's notice. Certainly, a notice was given to probably all of you, saying that tomorrow onwards we are starting online classes. Look at, suddenly we're caught. Someone who can teach online in any number of models. There's so many models are available. We need to explore it depending on the classes to which you are teaching, depending on the students, what you have it, depending on the subject, what you have it, you need to plan for it. You need to gauge the change. Engage yourself in this changing environment and manage the change. You need to do it. Gauge yourself what is happening. Engage yourself in this change process and manage the change. Now we all need to think about bringing the global content to the classrooms. Work local but deliver to the global markets. Our boys and girls, when they graduate or postgraduate, what they did, they all would like to move overseas. Are we focusing on global content? Emerging directions in global education is going to happen. We need to move towards that direction. Now, simple exercise, if possible, please try. Wherever you're sitting, if there's a chair next to you, just get off from this chair and sit in that chair. Because in a classroom, I do a lot of activity, but here in the online, it's not possible. I assume you have done it. How did it feel to be asked to change seats? Because anything changed, we are resistant, reluctant. That's the mindset of the human beings. Did you view changing as an opportunity with someone new or some other person you can sit? Let me tell you, when teachers and faculty go and attend seminars, conferences, workshops, and so many other things, they always try to sit. The teachers from the same school try to sit together. Or same subject sit together. Why? It is an opportunity for you to meet someone new, make new friends, learn from others what kind of practice they have in their school or college that can be brought to our schools or colleges. Are we looking at it? It's an opportunity for you to network with people when you go out attending seminars and meetings and so on. Otherwise, say you're not working it. And what can you do to make it easier for students in your college to accept the change? Now, how do you deliver the lecture? That makes a difference. Please remember one point, very important. Education is not what to think. Education is not what to think. Education is to make them how to think is more important. A student must be taught how to think, but not what to think. Don't make everything examination orientation. Make it education orientation. Markula kosam kaadu, marku kosam chadavali. These days, boys and girls get marks 70%, 80%, 90%. I go for campus recruitment for the engineering graduates. I see when we ask basics, they're not answering it. I give a very simple question, since all of you teachers here. I'm sure last year you all finished your syllabus. Yes or no? Can two people respond, please? Because time constraint, I can't allow everybody. Did you finish your syllabus last year? Yes or no? Any two of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
One more person can respond.
Yes, sir.
Fine, thank you. That's enough for me. That's enough. What was my statement? I said, did you finish your syllabus last year? And all of you said, there are some people chatting on chat box also writing, and you spoke. Sorry, that's wrong answer. I have now question, what is the difference between finish and complete? Same thing, I'll put it in a different way. Now, did you finish the syllabus or did you complete the syllabus? Think about it. Finish is with reference to time, complete is with reference to quality. What kind of quality of lectures we are delivering in the classrooms? How much we are able to impact them, how much we are able to inspire the students, how much we are able to ignite their minds, how much we are able to involve them in the process of learning it. It is not finishing syllabus, you must complete the syllabus. My dear teachers, please note, teaching has to be passion. It's not a job, sorry. Teaching is a 24/7 job. Teaching has to be passion and not a job at all. And let me tell you what's the difference between passion and job. When you teach with passion, it gives you happiness. And you teach from heart, it will also get you money. Because ultimately we need money, there's nothing wrong with that. So when you teach with passion, it gets you happiness. And you work with heart and you get your salary. When you take it as a job, you get money, but you're teaching with only mind and you feel strain it is. So love the job what we're doing it. Love the job what we're doing it. You get energized automatically. Let me tell you, last 5.5 years, of course, because pandemic, I'm not going out. Otherwise, I used to go to colleges, conduct one full day program. On average, weekly, 5 days, I go to colleges. When I do a day-long program, quite often these teachers, they ask me, sir, how come you can speak for a whole day? Generally, the teachers have taken 2 sessions. When principal asked, why don't you take 3rd session? No, sir, morning I already took 2 hours. How can I teach? Come on, when you love the job, you get energy automatically. I'll give a very, very simple example. Imagine these young boys and girls. Let's say they attend one full day lecture somewhere. At the end of it, when they go home and they told their mother, Mommy, I'm so tired. So there's somebody came and who gave a day-long lecture and I want to sleep. The student slept. Around 7 o'clock. 7:30, his boyfriend or girlfriend calls and says, shall we meet for dinner? What will be the response? Immediately they jump out of the bed and fresh up and go to the party. Look at it. So when you love, the energy comes automatically. Love the job, what you're doing it. We're all lucky to be in this profession. And let's see what the ground reality is. Faculty who are frightened by technology now have to take the bull by horns. We have no choice but to jump into the technology. Planning for an online setting requires some relearning process. You have to do it. You have to read it because the way you present is different. Please note, I'm sure most of you are beard. Teaching is a performing art. It's like a stage show. You need to have the facial expressions, you need to have the body language, you need to have the voice modulation, everything. Quite often, teachers keep complaining online classroom is not effective. Why do you say that? Come on, when you go to theater, the audience are watching the movie for almost 2.5 hours. How best they're able to capture that in the same role we are supposed to play in online classrooms. Finding the right online teaching platform is just the first step. There are so many online platforms available. Depending on your environment, you need to decide which is the best platform available to you. Learning to how to use the various features correctly is important. Each of these platforms has got so many features, so many functionality. You need to learn all this and master it and use the features which are available on each of these platforms. But using a platform's features to teach effectively, ensure all students are indeed learning is paramount. Why we are teaching all this? The very objective students. In a classroom, students is more important. And if students are not there, we teachers don't exist at all. Let me tell you, one of the college I went to one of the rural engineering college. They all were complaining to me, sir, here attendance is a problem, attendance is a problem, attendance is a problem. I said, then remove the attendance rule. That's so simple. They said, sir, if you remove the attendance rule, no student will come. I said, remove the teachers. The problem is solved. What I'm saying is, where are those inspiring teachers who can ignite the minds? I'll tell you, in the early 70s, we had one of the professor in Usmania. He's a great teacher in arts college. Normally, arts college attendance is less, but here, to his class, almost there used to be 200% attendance. That means almost all students who registered for the course, plus number of others also used to come and attend these classes. If there's not enough chairs, people are standing near the windows to listen to you. Where are such great teachers today? So are we there? In the past, change was evolving in nature. And today, change is revolutionary. The change itself is changing in nature. You know this. You need to fast change the kind of content what you're doing, the kind of delivery models what you're raising it, the kind of experiments you're doing it, you need to change. So read the change, what is happening with respect to subjects, respect to domains. And lead the change, ride over the change. Otherwise, change will ride over you, will disappear from the scene. ARISE. For me, ARISE is an acronym. All-round improvement in school education. Generally, when the students come for the campus recruitment at the end of the graduation, we ask for all-round personal development. Are we giving enough opportunity to think about all-round development of the child? Do we have, most of it, you understand, you have what is called curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities. Are we doing enough justice to these three components? Then only you can expect all-round development to happen. We are not trained to teach online. There's no doubt. We are not trained to teach online. We need to learn and master the art of teaching online in the present scenario. Yes, as part of when you did B.Ed, probably this concept was not there. But suddenly we have been asked to do that. In the present scenario, there is no other option. Let me tell you what are the different platforms available for online teaching. One of them is Cisco WebEx is there, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, Zoom platform, Microsoft Teams, free conference call, and many more are there. It is you need to decide what kind of software is available in your school or college, what kind of compatibility is available, what is suitable. You need to study. Each and everything is got its own merits and demerits. And the question concept is, can the students be taught online mode? Yes, there's no doubt teachers are not trained online mode, nor they've been exposed to some short-term program. Still, teachers have taken the challenge with initial teething troubles what they had. Though they didn't have exposure, they said, yes, we'll do that. Look at the way teachers are taking the responsibility. In spite of that, they don't know what the online teaching, but still, majority of teachers came up and said, okay, we'll do it. There is a Urdu quote I bring in here. Manzil khatarnak hai, manzil khatarnak hai. Manzil bahut dur hai, koi baat nahi. Manzil bahut dur hai, jana wahan zaruri hai. Rasta mushkil hai, lekin namumkin nahi. Look at it. The rasta may be difficult, the path may be difficult, but it's nothing called impossible. I salute all these teachers. I call them as frontline warriors in online education. You have taken the responsibility, started online classes. And especially you are dealing with children, small children. Small children are very, very delicate, very easy to wrap them, mold them and so on. बचपन से बड़ा कोई स्कूल नहीं है, बचपन से बड़ा कोई स्कूल नहीं है, क्यूरियोसिटी से बड़ा कोई टीचर ही नहीं है. Look at, are we developing the curiosity among the boys and girls? There is a fundamental drawback in the education system. Go back to LKG classes. What is that we are teaching our children? A for apple, B for bat, C for cat. That's all what it is. Why that? Let's say in a LKG class there are about 30 children are there. Why don't you ask them, Tell me one word starting with the letter A. In a class of 30, at least 5 different words will come out, or maybe more. Look at it. Student is contributing to the learning process. The curiosity, since the 5 of his friends are presented today something, he will also go and come with prepared to add one more. Are we developing this kind of thing? Or are we just making them to mug up and reproduce in exam halls? So they should not be taught online simply because they watch entertainment channels for hours together. These cartoon channels they watch hours together. But please not. Vijnanam and Vinodam are 2 different things. It is difficult to make the students to attend the school or college, do the homework, and practice the topics as suggested by the teachers. Are we focusing on practice? Sadhana cheyumura nada sadhyamu kanidiledra. How much practice happening? We have been taught by English teachers in our schools. Practice makes perfect. I would say now that has to be changed. You should say now, perfect practice makes you perfect. Just don't say practice. You ask me to practice, I'll start and 7 1 is 7, 7 2 is 13, 7 3 is 21. What happened? 7 2 is 13 yesterday. And I continue to practice. What will happen? End up in wrong. So what you need to do is now perfect practice makes you perfect. So it's difficult to make them realize that online teaching is for their own benefit. We are doing it. How do we make the online classes interactive nature? When the class is on, ask each of the students to show some fruits. Let's say you're taking class on fruits. Look at so many things are visible on the screen. They're able to now understand what's happening here. You can make it a little bit. I'm not saying everything. Some small things, experiments can be done in the online classes. Patience is a prerequisite to listening and a prerequisite to learning. It's very, very important. Listening and learning capability is very important in education. Are you focusing it? Today, unfortunately, neither the parents nor the students have patience. Because they want everything to happen overnight. No, it's not possible. You're dealing with human beings. It takes time. Each and every child is unique in this world. So we must learn how to deal with each of these students who are there. For me, IT plus IT is IT. IT plus IT is IT. That is, Indian teacher plus information technology combined is going to be India's tomorrow. Indian teacher plus information technology combined is going to be India's tomorrow. That's what we need to think about it. My dear teachers, technology will not replace teachers. Don't worry about it. But teachers who do not use technology will be replaced. You have to start using technologies now. That's where you need to focus it. Let me put, sorry, my session is always some questions will there, so be ready for that. What is the difference between afraid and fear? Any 2 of you? Come on, we have been learning this right from the early childhood. Afraid and fear. Any 2 of you, please respond. My dear teachers, don't Google it. Even Google will not give answers. What is the difference between afraid and fear? I am your student, so I have a right to ask questions. I always believe I am a lifelong student. My dear teachers, any 2 of you, please respond. What is the difference between afraid and fear? Okay, let me give the answer because we can't waste time. Afraid is known, fear is... yes. Surendra Naidu wanted to answer. Yes, please go ahead.
Fear is nothing but since childhood, it might be like digested in our blood, which is from childhood. Fear. Afraid means when we grown up, like the things which are not permanent. It means afraid. Fear means permanent.
Fine. Thank you. Never use the word nothing but. If nothing, why should we discussing waste our time? The answer is simple. Afraid is known, fear is unknown. Ho gaya. Make it answer to be short, sweet, and crispy. Then students can easily remember things. You give a long explanation, they'll forget it. They'll not be show interest. Make it simple. The life is what need to be done. So that's what you need to think about it. And as a teacher, we need to keep important things in mind. The students don't care. The students don't care whether you teach offline or online until they know that you care about their success. Students don't care whether teaching online or offline until they know that you care about their success. Students want to know that you care about what you're teaching. First, do you love the subject? Do you enjoy teaching that subject? That's the first thing they wanted from you. What is the subject matter? What is the content you're delivering it? And what is the importance of this subject in real life? Are we connecting to real life? Is one. If you don't believe it is important, why should they believe the subject is important? Every subject you must connect to the real life environment. Students want to know that you care about their success, that each of them is a person with a lot of hopes. They came into the schools or colleges, and in spite of their problems, whatever they have at home, look at still they want to pursue the education. If we treat them as just numbers, why should they treat you differently? Is what needs to know. I have another question at this point of time. What is the difference between marriage and wedding? Don't ask me. I got married about 35 years back. No, don't ask me these questions. What is the difference between marriage and wedding? You attended so many of them.
Sir, marriage is a long life relationship. Marriage is a long life relationship.
Okay, wedding is short life. Is that what you want to say, madam?
Sir, marriage is a long life relationship.
Yes. Okay.
It's a ceremony.
Okay. One more person. One more person to respond.
So marriage is an action, whereas wedding is the name for that action.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Well, time to, yeah.
For friends and relations, relatives, it is a good bonding get together. And relatives.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. Sir, the answer is simple. Wedding is an event, an occasion. Marriage is lifelong bonding. That's why you see cards, we write wedding invitation. They just put up flexes. They say X weds Y. And once a person's wedding is over, we say he's a married person. We don't say he's a wedded person. Look at it. Tellu cheppukovalante kalyanamu vyaham. Kalyana vedika antam chudandi. Vyaham is lifelong. Anyway. Sorry, I have a bit of asking questions, so I'm asking questions. That's what is the problem. So, challenges for teachers in online teaching mode. What are the kind of challenges? Teachers have to go through digital transformation overnight. You need to get onto digital platforms now. Teachers have to open their house for public viewing. The moment you're running the online class, your house is seen by all the students and the parents that are sitting next to them. They're all watching your house. This is what is happening. And the situation demanded that they had to make to do with limited or no resources. Some of these teachers come from very poor family background, and with limited resources, no resources, still they have to do some makeshift arrangements and conduct the classes. Look at what's happening. Teachers have to teach while 30 odd parents are watching over their children's shoulder, judging them from every little move, including but not limited to their voice modulation, pronunciation, grammar, knowledge, love, warmth, and many other things. Teachers have to teach while 30 odd parents are watching you. Please note this. Earlier in the classroom, only students were watching. We were able to do it. Now 30 odd parents are watching it. Look at it. And easy to complain. So they'll say, no, pronunciation is not good, this and that. But look at how much stress our teachers are going through it. My appreciation and respect for these relentless fighters, that is, teachers, can't be expressed in words. I want to salute all the teachers who continue to take on the challenges that are piled upon them, because children's education is paramount in their heart. The teachers have thought students' education is more important. They say they took on these challenges. What we need is not online teaching, but we need virtual classrooms. The day is not very far. I'm hopeful by next year, we will have virtual classrooms where you are able to see all students online. High bandwidth is going to be available. Today, we have been told the moment the session starts, you have been asked to mute yourself, audio and video. But let me tell you, in a year, it's going to come up. Virtual classrooms are going to come up. Jio is planning to launch all that. And online or offline, a great teacher will continue to be the game changer in the minds of the students. Online or offline, great teacher can change them. Online teaching is unable to scale up. Now, once you start online teaching, you can scale up. Why you're admitting 30, even 300 children can be admitted. The day is not very far. Foreign universities are going to offer their degrees in India from there itself. They'll admit students online. They create a virtual classroom. Students can participate in virtual classrooms. All that is going to happen. Online teaching is unable to scale up, and that's not there with the traditional classrooms, is what's going to happen. Traditional classrooms, we have physical infrastructure limitations, so we can't increase the number of students within the classroom. That to now with the pandemic scenario, maybe we admitted 40 students, depending on that we built our classrooms today. Because of the distancing norms, we can't allow all 40 to come to the class. Maybe we have to make them 2 sections. All that is going to happen. I have another question. Quite often people use the word social distancing. I don't know why people use that kind of words. It should be called physical distancing, but not social distancing. Because we want to connect in the society. Why we're talking about it? I have another question at this point of time. What is the difference between safety and security? Yes, my dear teachers.
Safety is accidental. Security is intentional.
Is that the principal is responding it?
Yes, sir.
Madam, you are not eligible to answer these questions. Sorry.
Sorry, sir.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Sir, safety is temporary, security is permanent.
One more person. One more teacher, please respond. Don't worry, we are all friends. Even I don't know many things. Nobody can claim I know everything here.
Sir, safety means which we take personally, sir.
Okay.
Security is provided by us by someone else.
Good attempt. The answer is simple, as rightly said by principal, madam.
Thank you so much.
Safety is, I think, time constraint. Sorry, I will alone need 2 people. Sorry, maybe next time you can take it. Safety is accidental. We wear a safety helmet, safety seat belt. Accidentally something may happen. To protect, we're doing it. Security is intentional. That's why we say border security force. Intentionally from the other side of the border, they want to grab our land. They want to hack our websites. They want to enter into banking network to transfer the funds. Intentional they are. Okay, fine. We continue the session. So, if online education not scaled up, it makes no sense. With online education coming up in a big way, probably we can increase numbers as possible. Online teaching requires more involvement of students' attention. And if they're able to interact with the teachers, then it's good. You need to make the classroom interactive in nature. Don't make classroom unidirectional flow of communication. Make it a bidirectional flow of communications. You need to involve them. You need to interact with them so they are attended to all the time in the class. I have another question at this point of time. Quite often, teachers in the classroom and students are making noise. You shout at high pitch, attention. I don't know, why do you say that? My question now is, what is the difference between attention and concentration? Any 2 of you? You've been using these words.
Concentration is attention of the mind, sir.
Then attention is?
Attention gives us the direction to think, whereas concentration will help us to focus on something.
Okay. Attention is physically present, mentally may be absent. Concentration is physical and mental presence is there. Because what we need is mental presence in the classrooms. So you can concentrate, listen to us, you focus on what we are teaching in the classrooms, is what can happen. So as I said, teaching is a performing art. What you know is not important. What you know is not important. What you say is less important. How you are saying is more important. How well you are presenting the topic in the classroom is very, very important. You may be knowing 101 things. Fine, that's fine. So what you know is not important. What you say is less important. How you are presenting is important. What kind of voice modulation you're using, what kind of body language you're using in presenting the topic, that makes a difference. In an online classroom, students are like audience in a theater. That's what exactly happens. Now, it's our job as a teacher to capture their attentions. The effectiveness depends on how we can capture their attention for the next 1 hour class, what we are going to read. It requires complete body language, including voice modulations. You need to dramatize the whole situation. Whatever the session you're presenting, you need to dramatize it. Then you can capture the attention. And these days, so much of material available online, Google and many Wikipedia and so many other things. The material is available to them. 24/7, they can access it. But the way you're presenting should make a difference than just depending on textbook. Online teaching is convenient teaching, while classroom teaching is complete. With online teaching, you cannot replace classroom teaching. Sorry, that's not possible. And please note, life is full of problems and our success depends on the approach we are taking it. For everyone, maybe how rich or how poor it is. Life is full of problems and our success depends on our opportunity. In Hyderabadi language, we say, bhag lo ya bhag lo. Either run away from the situation or take part in the situation. Today, we are all entered into the online mode. We are taking part. We are not running. We did not resign our jobs and say, no, this is not possible. We can't run away from that. So you need to evolve over a period of time, or you will erode yourself. Our job is to inspire the students, inspire them to aspire something for which they need to perspire. They need to perspire themselves. It's very, very important. Our job is to inspire them. So they need to put in the perspiration and they can achieve what they wanted. Again, there's a Urdu quote I bring in. जो लोग पानी से नहाते हैं, सिर्फ लिबास बदलते हैं. That is, they change their dress. जो लोग पानी से नहाते हैं, सिर्फ लिबास बदलते हैं. जो लोग पसीने से नहाते हैं, इतिहास को बदल डालते हैं. They can rewrite the history. So पसीने से नहाते हैं. That's where we say, कष्टे फल्यंता, मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है जब जब पिंटम. Are we putting that effort? There is also Hindi quote, परिवर्तन ही जीवन है. Transformation is very, very important. Don't just transmit the knowledge. Can you transform the future of these boys and girls? In electrical engineering, we say transmission lines, they carry the power. Transformer, depending on the function, step up or step down, it does. Are we transforming these boys and girls as better citizens for tomorrow? Is what our job is. It's not just teaching subject alone. We have to take care of all-round development of the child is very, very important. How to make online teaching interesting? Engage with learners online. You need to engage them. It's very, very important. Create a support to learning environment. Make the material available. If possible, write just 4 or 5 lines and send it to all of them to read through that before you start the class. So that's one way of making it. And use multiple teaching. The number of teaching methods you already learned your B.Ed. And provide timely feedback. Don't wait till the end. That's too late to talk about it. There are some tips for online teacher-student interaction. First and foremost, teacher must be enthusiastic and energetic. Energetic, I'm not talking physical energy. The way you are delivering should energize the students. Interacting with individual students online. When you're asking questions, you know some of the students are in response, some of the students, now take them by name because you know all of them. By name, call them. Yes. Let's say I've just taken a name. Ramesh, what is your answer? So you need to interact, create that environment. And also encourage chat interaction. No, before you start the session, 10 minutes before, let them log in. That 10 minutes, let them have informal chat. Because they are all missing the social connect today. They are confined to their homes. They are not able to meet friends. They are able to talk. So why don't you leave them for 10 minutes? Let them chit chat. Good, no problem. After that, you start the class. So encourage chat interaction and support your students. Always give feedback on time. At the end of the class, can you send a summary of the lesson, what you learned? Some salient features of what we discussed today. Small, I'm not saying write 10 pages. Just half-page note is good enough. And create a community. Make them small groups, maybe depending on geographical locations, or maybe like-minded people. Some kind of Groups you can create it, they can do some, collectively they can work on it. I have a question at this point of time. What is the difference between group and team? On this group work we say, teamwork we say. I don't know what it is. Yes, my dear teachers. Any two of you, time constraints. And give chance to others who are not yet responded so far, because it involves everyone.
Sir, team means commitment. They have some commitment to finish the work. But group means gather. Some people gather.
Okay, good attempt. Good attempt.
Yes.
Next, one more person. One more person, please respond.
Group is as a collection of people, sir.
Okay.
When it comes to team, it's like sharing the common information. It may be rather any subject.
Very good.
Subject or a program.
Fine, thank you. The answer is simple. Team works for a common goal, common objective which they have. Group, there is no consistency. Team is an acronym. It stands for together everyone achieves more. Mathematically speaking, 1 + 1 is 2. In a team performance is 1 + 1 is 11. That's the strength to derive it. Make teams, small teams, let them work together. Because when they join the industry tomorrow, they have to work in teams. Wherever they go, they have to work in teams. Why don't we develop that habit right from the childhood? Can be done. And ask for reviews and feedback from time to time. Let me talk about what are the do's and don'ts of online teaching. The first dimension I bring in is camera view. Camera should be neatly done. Make sure that you have good lighting to your students and can see your face very clearly. You need to have a lighting on your face. If not, turn towards window so the natural light comes on your face. Face an open window or put a lamp next to your laptop or mobile phone, whatever you have it. Make sure the camera is stable. When you're using mobile phone, if you're holding in hand, it will keep disturbing it. Put it neatly there, or if you're using laptop, it's not a problem. And do look into the camera. You need to look into the camera. You need to have the right camera view. Before you start the session, see how to sit, to move towards left or right and see where you are in the center of the screen. That you need to ensure it. Watch yourself properly with back upright. You need to sit straight with back straight. It's very, very important. And you need to have a clean, clear background behind you. At the background, whatever you're able to see, that should be clean and clear. Some of the youth, if there are two young teachers, they have a crazy of putting film stars and cricketers' photographs, posters on the wall. Please cover up that. Otherwise, all these platforms provide what is called virtual background option is available. You can select one of them that will come as background. They will not be seen. So you need to have a clean or clear background behind you. Cover up your favorite poster, whatever you have. Don't let them see your dirty laundry all over them. Clean up that room. It's very, very important. So the next is you need to wear a professional dress. You may be teaching from home, but still you need to have professional dress. You can't come in casual wear to the class. We must respect the class. That's what you need to take care of from the camera point of view. Now I talk about audio. Make sure you introduce yourself and talk slowly. Here you can't rush through presentations because we don't have enough bandwidth. People may be sitting in somewhere outskirts of the city or maybe somewhere rural areas. The information flows slowly. You need to go slow on this. It's very, very important. And talk slowly. Sound quality will differ depending on the home setup, what you have it. It should not echo it. All that you need to check all this. That's why generally, some college or schools ask me, I say, 15 minutes before, can we check in? Audio and video clarity. Then we start the class. So we have time to set up things. So you have to make sure people can hear you and that you can hear them. You need to ensure the technology to be tested and say, yes, people are able to listen to you and you are able to listen to them. That has to be put in place. And set up your space. Make sure it's all quiet and uninterrupted environment because you're doing the class from home. In home, there are family members, maybe children, maybe adults, maybe parents, grandparents, or in-laws, somebody. So many people are there. And make sure that room is uninterrupted is what needs to be done, is what you need to focus on it. And you should set up a place that is as much as possible free from distractions. Because otherwise, when you're lecturing, your grandparent may come, "Arey, em chestunara," that's all, the whole class get disturbed. So tell the people politely, your family members, please don't disturb for next 1 hour. Don't come near the screen. The moment they come into camera view, it disturbs the whole class. Make sure that tell them. Lock your door for privacy and to be sure your family members won't walk into the room. That's what happens. If your family members politely ask them not to disturb you during the class session, tell your family members not to disturb during the class sessions. Ensure your audio or microphone works. Use headphones to make sure you can hear everyone. If your computer audio is not audible properly to you, use headphones. Communicate properly. Ensure you are audible but not horrible to the audience. Communication is very, very important. Communication has to be bidirectional flow, not unidirectional. Because one of the most challenging problem for us when we go as recruiters to colleges, the present generation students, they are not able to speak in English. Though they claim English medium. This is what is happening. Communication is very, very simple. Communication is the hallmark of success. I'll put it simply. Bhavam undali, bhava vyaktikarana cheyagalagali, bhavodvegamto cheppagalagali. That's what is communication. Tomorrow, all these boys and girls want jobs in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Calcutta, New York, New Jersey, Sydney, they want jobs. Yes, then you need to be effective English language communicator. Sir, given you do my Manchuriya Lipi, my Kamarid Lipi, my Memnagar Lipi, Ipisa. There also need communication. Only the difference is instead of English, I need Telugu there. You need to have effective communication skills. Very, very, any profession you take up, you need it. Now, the third dimension bring in is hardware. The equipment, what you're raising it. Test before it's time to sign on. Test the equipment. Test your laptop or whatever you have, desktop or mobile, whatever you're using it. And turn on audio and video and check for it. Make sure your laptop or mobile is fully charged. Suddenly there may be power cut. Class will be disrupted. So fully charged before the session starts. And have a reliable internet connection. Internet connection also is a problem. We are facing it. Sometimes it happens. And sign in, wait for pass to say hello, then mute it. Once you sign in, say hello to everybody, then mute it. And the next important dimension in online classroom is time. Learn to respect the time. Log in on time and the delay is not acceptable. If 9 o'clock is scheduled, you have to be there 9 o'clock sharp. 9:01 is not 9, please. As teachers, we need to be role models to our students. So are we there on time? No excuses will work. Simple, I'll give you an example. Imagine for a moment tomorrow you're going to fly. If you go to the airport late by 1 minute, what will happen? That flight will not allow it entrance or gone. Do you think the flight will wait for you? Do you think the train will wait for you? Then why are you giving excuses in the classroom? You have to be before time. You have to be role model to your own students whom you are teaching it. It's important that you manage your time effectively. What are the time slot given? That time slot to manage effectively. I have a suggestion. When the academic year begins, when you enter into the classroom on day 1 of your subject, please don't talk about the first chapter completion. Your job is to talk about what is the beauty of the subject, what is the greatness of the subject, how this subject is going to be useful to you in real life tomorrow, and who are the great people who contributed to the growth of the subject, what kind of sacrifices they made. All that. Our job is to create interest in the subject on day 1 when we walk into the classrooms. Once we're able to successfully do it, then subsequent job becomes very easy. And when you walk into the classroom, please note the first 2-3 minutes doesn't belong to you. It is meant for recapitulating what we discussed in the last class, because this class is a continuation of last class. Same will last 2-3 minutes of the period is again doesn't belong to you. It is meant for summarizing what are the important points we discussed today. This is what you're supposed to do it. I'll give a very simple solution. At the end of each of the period, can you give them 2 questions which will have just 1 word or 1 line answers? You'll have just 1 word on based on what you taught that day. Imagine, ask them to learn with complete conceptual clarity these 2 questions, including singular, plural, antonym, synonym, everything. If they can just master 2 words based on what they taught the day in that period, assuming there are 6 periods in a day, they would have mastered 12 words. In a week, there are 6 working days. At the end of the week, they have learned 72 words. In a month, there are 4 weeks roughly. So at the end of the month, they have learned 288 words. And generally, of course, I don't know whether you may not have semesters, but we talk about semester system. A semester has got 4 months, 288 into 4, 1152 words, they mastered it. And in a year, 2 semesters, I call it roughly 2,300 words they mastered. The children are with you for 10 years. I'm not counting LKG, UKG, 10 years. 10 into 2,300 words. Look at how many words they can master it. Are we able to make them to learn at least 2 important words that day, what I taught it, and they should remember lifelong? Once in a while, revise it. That's what probably you can think about it. And coming to the environment, what you're creating, be prepared. Eat well before the session. In between, you can say, I'm hungry, I want to eat in between. That's not correct. Do all you can to make your class exciting in nature. Do all the preparation is required to present it, make it class exciting to students. Create a relaxed online environment. Don't rush to the printing. Don't shout at high pitch. Never do that mistake. Reassuring and anxious students. Some students are new to this environment, so they're somehow stressed. So reassure them there's nothing new. It's very simple. Just switch on. I'm there to help you. Give the students social time before the class starts. That's what I told you earlier. Some 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let them have chatting with them that they can be comfortable. Ask the participant to mute audio and video when the class is on. Very, very important. When they want to ask questions, yes, they can unmute themselves. But otherwise, no. If they want to ask questions, they can use the chat box otherwise. Answer what are the doubts students are raising. Encourage students to ask more and more questions. Somehow, over a period of time, initially students ask a lot of questions, children especially. Look at it, assume for a minute you have a small child at home, maybe 3-year-old. He asks so many questions. Initially, we start encouraging them. But as they start growing, we start discouraging. Question. Look at, we are discouraging them. Encourage more and more questions. The more the questions you raise, the more you learn it. Start questioning everything. There is a beautiful Sanskrit one. Prashnena, Prati Prashnena, Abha Prashnena, Abhi Prashnena. Not only questioning, counter questioning also you do it. Don't be afraid of anybody. Just stand up and ask questions. All questions must be asked. If you don't ask your doubts, you are the losers. So make classrooms interactive in nature. Let them raise questions. The more the questions they raise, that's good. Maybe at least some students are daring enough to stand up and ask them. Because of that, other students are also getting the answer. That maybe they have doubt, but they don't have the courage to stand up and ask questions. Encourage more. And if you question everything, you will get the answers. If not today. Simple question to all of you. Very simple question. Marriages lo meeku naga natra pedtarandi. What is natra? I am assuming that most of teachers of Telugu is the mother tongue. Marriage lo naga natra pedtaru. What is natra? Some of the teachers would have performed their children's marriage by now. And some of the teachers probably recently got married. Naga natra pedtaru. Marriage, what is that? Natra.
Screw, sir.
Huh?
Screw.
Sorry. I'm not here testing on it. Please do not mistake me on testing on it. No, I'm only encouraging you to think beyond. Yes. Does anyone want to answer it? One more
Sir,
person. Yes.
Sir, Naga means jewelry. Natra means another things, sir, like articles, sarees and all. I
Okay,
think.
okay, fine. Okay, madam. Thank you. There we stop. Let me give the answer. The answer is simple. If you go back to olden days, that is 50 to 100 years back, there was no cash. They were giving only gold and land. Let me put it simple: movable and immovable property. Movable is your gold and cash. Immovable is land. That's all what they had. So movable and immovable property is what's given in the olden days. Barter system we had. So that's all we had. So we are not questioned, so we don't know the answers. Question everything. It's for your own benefit also. It is good to you to learn more. It is also good to teach your own biological children. It is also useful to teach in the classrooms. So start questioning everything. That will help you to move forward. And establish instant rapport with the students. Since you all know all of them, by name you should be able to address all of them. It's very, very important. If required, take a break while teaching. It is a long session. If you're taking a session of 2 hours, 3 hours, you must give them break. It's very, very important. Even if you are not taking, somebody else is taking over next, please in between give 15 minutes break. It's very, very important. And have a practice student who will log in to check and links, make sure they're all working it. Start your lecture with everyone muted and ask them to sign into the chat box by answering an open question if there are any. You can take attendance this way. So when they start posing questions in the chat box, that itself is an answer. Attendance for you. Ask them to sign in. The moment sign in, where attendance is, we got it. We don't need to worry. I do a daily question that is more meaningful to my students, and so we can start conversation. While I was in service, especially from 2005 onwards, I started questioning every day. Whenever any student comes, any subject, I ask questions. When I start questioning it, there are some students who used to run away from me. There are some students who come forward and ask me, sir, what is the question for the day? I have not left even my colleagues. I have asked even the questions to my boss. Not that I want test to go beyond the. We need to go beyond textbook, beyond syllabus, learn many more things. That's where I used to question. I'm known for questioning it. So discussions and building relationships were a big thing in the classrooms. Give them small group assignments. They can start working on it. Develop communication skills. That confidence building will happen, and learn from each other's is what can happen it. And please note, our students are under a lot of stress, just like we are. Our students are also undergoing stress because of these pandemic situations. Just like this isn't a vacation for us, it's not a vacation even for the students. Please note, it's not a vacation. So don't do too much of homework also. They are scared. Make discussions relevant to everyday life and relate to the current topics, current environment, what we have it. And challenge the students with fun questions. I give another question to you. Fun question, as I said. What is the difference between wedding and welding? Welding, all of you know, and wedding.
Sir, wedding is a sparkle. Welding is a sparkle before joining, and wedding is a sparkle after joining.
Absolutely right, madam.
This is said by a principal, ma'am.
So,
Recently, only principal ma'am asked this question, so we were prepared for this.
Welding is past tense and bonding takes place later. In wedding, bonding takes place first and spark. These days, divorce rate is increasing, so sparks are there. Anyway, so 101 questions can be asked depending on your subject. What is, if you want to ask questions, 20 of them. I have another question. What is the difference between pandemic and epidemic? We're all talking about pandemic scenario, pandemic. Last 5 months, you've been hearing that. What is pandemic? And biology teachers. It's your subject. What is the difference in pandemic and epidemic? I'm not here to test your knowledge. Let me make it very clear. I'm indirectly helping you. See how much more we need to learn. Yes. Any two of you, biology teachers? Anybody?
Yes. Pandemic is a disease which is affecting large number of people, whereas epidemic is a disease which is affecting in countrywide, worldwide, like corona.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, epidemic is a large number of people and pandemic is the countries.
Multiple countries, spreading multiple.
I think we stop here. Sorry. Epidemic is local, pandemic is global. Over. Pandemic is across the countries. Just easy to remember. In the word pandemic, the first alphabet is P. P means it has the passport to travel across the globe. That is how we remember it. Epidemic is local, confined to maybe within the district or within the state, maximum its country, it can't go beyond that. Pandemic is global, it spreads immediately. That is the difference. Epidemic is by bacteria, pandemic is by virus. That's the difference. I'm not a biology student. So you need to learn, look at how much more to learn. So we were talking about do not deviate from the focus of the content what you're supposed to deliver in the classrooms. And online teaching can feel very isolated and lonely at times because we are not seeing our students in front of us. We are always used to seeing our children. So change the feeling by collaborating as a teamwork with a colleague. Let's assume for a moment there are 4 sections, let's say 7th class. I'm sure same teacher is not teaching all 4, maybe 2 different teachers. 2 of you, why don't you share and 2 of you keep presenting it. That's a teamwork, you can do it. So it will not be boring. At the same time, children are also interesting because 2 different teachers are coming to talk about it. In fact, there's an entire group of other teachers in the same boat as you are. There are also a number of other teachers who are also finding little inconvenient to get into online. When you start discussing among yourselves, you can do that. One of the evenings, why don't you have some online chat with among your teachers? Not necessarily all of you should join. 3-4 of you can join, set up an online platform, Zoom platform is very easy, and chat among yourselves what is going to happen, all that can be done. Or this teacher with another school teacher can do that. Today, all the technologies available, affordable, and accessible, especially in major cities. Think about it. And connect with them in online forum for discussions if you want anything. I have another question at this point of time. What is the difference between contact and connection? Contact and connection.
Sir, contact is something which are physically connected to each other.
Okay.
Touching each other.
Yes.
And connection is related but not connected physically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Connection is to emotions, sir.
Okay. Generally, I don't give the answers, but in your case, I'm giving the answer. Generally, I don't give the answer. When I go to college, I don't give the answers. I leave it them. Contact is physical, connection is emotional. Over, that's all over. Contact is physical. That's why in your mobile phone, there's so many contacts around. Connection is emotional bonding takes place. That's the difference. You need to focus on that. A positive attitude will help you to go through your online classes. You need to have that positive mindset. You need to have it. Don't worry. There are difficulties. I'm not saying there are no difficulties at all. You need to have a positive mindset which can help you to do things better can happen. And hopefully, those who are new to online teaching find it is very least workable. Please note this is only a temporary workable solution. It's not going to be permanent. Don't worry about it. You need to have that positive mindset. Again, Urdu quote I bring in. सोच को बदलो, सितारे बदल जाएंगे. नजर को बदलो, नजारे बदल जाएंगे. दिशाओं को बदलो, किनारे बदल जाएंगे. All the changes can happen. It's a changing environment. We need to change it. Hopefully, those who are new to online teaching find it at times a workable temporary solution. They think it. It is a fast-paced, dynamic way to accelerate your teaching learning process. We have to move towards fast. We're already losing time in the academic year. We need to compensate for the loss. And once teachers and students get used to online mode, you can move towards fast-paced learning can happen because students get used to things. And online teaching gets you closer to the completion of syllabus, and it can give you the skills and knowledge needed to excel in your career, whatever you have. So log on today to the online platforms. I have another question at this point of time. What is the difference between knowledge and skill? What is the difference between knowledge and skill?
Sai Kumar Garu.
Sir.
One more question. Can I ask you?
Please.
Sir, due to COVID-19,
sir,
we paid for the online classes as per the situations, present
yes.
situations.
Yes.
In future,
yeah,
for Indian culture,
yes,
what the advantage of the online classes for the students and for the staff and students? What is the disadvantage for the online classes for the student and staff?
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
You please give your suggestions.
Yes.
What is it suitable for Indian culture?
Yeah.
We are not compared with the Western culture and whatever.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
We definitely we can prepare for the platform for online classes. What is the advantage for the students and staff?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, fine. Sir, for the school children may be difficult, but college students, online classes are going to be there. Let me tell you, all these experts who we have been inviting, sir.
Okay, I am asking only for up to 10th class.
Okay, fine. School level. Okay, let me come down. Now, what has happened is, today teachers, for some reason, they had to go on leave. And coming all the way, even in one period, they are keen on taking the class. But traveling distance and time and the risk which is involved, they are not able to come. Though they love to teach that 1 hour class, they take it and go back home, attend to their personal work. In such scenario, teachers need not miss the class. They can have the online platform. Point number 1. Point number 2, excellent materials are available in online mode that can be demonstrated using the online platforms. Because the third is, some of these technologies today available in all the schools also. There are videos, there are simulated experiments are available, which can be shown using the classroom projectors, what we have it. Online classes are going to be maybe in a different format. You are going to use all these projection systems are available in schools today, most of the schools. You can demonstrate experiments, what is happening, because some of the destructive experiments you will not be show you physically in the laboratory. That we can use it in online mode. That can be done. Yes, there are some constraints. All the schools cannot afford. All that is, I agree with you. There is no doubt. But the schools you can afford, you can do it. Now, mindset has to change. Today, look at it. Sir, our generation and the present generation. I'm sure you also must be very senior person. Our generation, we were not used to all these technologies today. We're talking about it. But today, a child is using the technology right from early childhood.
Right. Extremely
Small
right.
people are using mobile phones fast. In fact, sometimes I learn from my grandchild how to handle this. I hope you agree with me. We all learn from them actually.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, thank you, sir. In fact, when I had to go on online first time, I was taking help of one of my students. He taught me this online, let me tell you, because we are not used to this. Now it's going to happen. Future generation is right from technology, they are tech-savvy generation. So for them, it's not a problem at all. So let's come back to the topic where we're talking about online teaching gets closer. Now, appearance, another dimension bring in. You cannot come to the online class in a casual way. Sorry. Don't eat while the class is on. Mobile phone, please switch off or put in silent mode. You can't take the mobile call in between. You cannot have coffee or tea in between. That's not allowed. And don't come to the class with an unshaven look. And don't look at the book and consider read. That's not the way to present it. Now, let me look at from the students' issues. What are the problems they have? Assign less work than you think you should do it. Because they will not, because they may not have enough material. Because in the college, school environment, they go to library, borrow one more book and prepare something. There they may not have the facilities, all of them. Some of them may have it. Students are going to take much longer to complete it due to technical issues. Especially students who are in rural areas or outskirts, technology is creating problems. Bandwidth is a problem, power supply is a problem, disconnect, how can they do things? Understand their problem, that's the students' issues. The challenge of having to learn mostly on their own, they have to do it. In a classroom environment, they're able to discuss with their classmates. They're able to discuss with their seniors or whatever it is happening. But here they do on their own. Students aren't prepared to take online class. This is again the problem. There's mindset block for time being is happening. Students understand the expectation of online learning. Don't expect them to learn everything. These are the issues you need to keep in mind. And also technology issues. Technology is just a tool in terms of getting the students working together and motivating them. And teacher is the most important. You cannot replace a teacher. Teaching is the mother of all the professions, you name anything. And don't come with excuses bad technology. You need to test all this technology. Luckily, we're in Hyderabad. We have enough support available. You can't really blame your performance for your online class on technical problems. It's just day before yesterday, I was doing the online session using my laptop. Suddenly some technical trouble. System was shut down. Immediately switch out to my mobile phone, and through mobile I continued the class. You have a standby mechanism. That can be done. So think about all these possibilities. And also check before you start the class that your software and hardware compatibility issues, they come up sometimes. That also happened in one of the classes earlier. And the students know how, these days students know how to operate computers. We may not believe, but they know it. This happens. And also be prepared. Remember that connections might break in between. Especially when you're doing long sessions, it happens. Even telephones, we have seen sometimes signal cut, and we keep shouting from here, and that flows in. After some time, it gets connected on its own. All these are problems are there. If you're trying to remain online for an extended period of time, like an hour or more, don't be surprised when circuit breaks, connection breaks, and gets reconnected within no time. That happens. It's all very common. Deliver the lectures slow, because you are teaching online platform, networks are slow, because they may not have enough bandwidth, and that creates problems. You need to go slow. Students may not have enough bandwidth, especially students who are staying in outskirts and rural areas. Yeah, earlier he was asking about advantages of teaching online. Distant student can easily avail the education. The students who are far away, they want to join Vignan Jyoti Public School. It's one of the good schools. They want to join, but they can't come all the way. So why not make it available online? They can register for us. There is no age limit for learners. Today, so many webinars are happening, almost all subjects, you name anything, right from school to college, postgraduate level, everything is happening, professional level. All that opportunities are available to you. There's no age limit. Any age limit, any person can participate and learn it. Online learning has no geographical barriers. As I was telling, in the case of college education, the foreign universities are going to offer courses here. He can register for that course and start doing it. It's going to happen. And this also saves the time of the learner when you go into the online platform and you don't need to travel from my home to the school or college, whatever the place it is there. The traveling time, money involved, risk involved, all that is saving in an online teaching platform. And online learning is not going to be expensive because technology has become affordable today. Accessible, available. So it's not going to be expensive at all. It does not require any extra infrastructure to teach students. Today, most of the students, especially urban areas, students have laptops or smartphones available at home. They can start using it. And students can take help and use resources anytime. They can use, once you make them available, let's say a laptop, anything which they require, they can go to Google or Wikipedia and search one, or they can see a particular video on a YouTube channel. All that is available today. All that is possible. Anyway, all the other sites which Government of India is closing it, they're banned, so you don't need to worry about that part of it. And online learning is more effective because it is accompanied by various teaching aids. There's so many teaching methods that are available. You can, depending on your taste, you can choose a video which is available to you that can be done. Online learning is free from boring lecture methods. I'll give you one more example at this point of time. There's a Telugu actor called L.B. Sriram. Manchi actor, one senior actor. These days, he is producing a lot of short films with his own money. He is involved in mostly all 24 plots he's handling on his own, coming with excellent videos. One video I said, there are all videos are worth watching it. One video I said is, there's a video called The Professor. Anjupak video. Student. how he delivers a lecture in the classroom, how we transform students from job seekers to job creators, employment seeker to employment generalist, how we entrepreneurship. Please watch that video. Look at the entire body language, the way voice model, everything you can see it. That is how you need to do in online classrooms. That's an excellent video. Please watch it. LB Sriram short films in the professor in the video chudandi. Adi first chudandi. Remaining other videos you can see. They're all very good videos. Very heart-touching videos. So online learning is free from boring lectures. It includes other methods like demonstration, project methods, and so many other things which are available there. Online teaching has come into play because of social distancing norms. But please don't use the word social distancing, use physical distancing norms. And if the situation is not there, our traditional teaching would have continued. Because the pandemic scenario, we all moved to the online teaching method. Benefits of low cost to both the students and the institutions. This technology is cheap, available today, we can use it. But there will be demand to change the timings too, which will now also the day is not very far. I'm talking about higher end institutions, not at school level. There's going to be flexi timings are going to come, not this like rigid 10 to 4 business. It's going to happen. It's already there in IITs and IIMs. Other institutions, they'll start once online teaching comes. And a combination of both online and offline methods of teaching will serve better. You need to have a combination of both online and offline mode you need to bring in. Having talked about, I must talk about disadvantages. I should not bias and just talk only advantages and go away. Let me talk about disadvantages. Classroom interaction is missing. That personal touch is missing in an online classroom. There is no relationship of teacher-student connect is not happening in an online platform. Concept cannot be understood without the help of instruction by the teachers, whatever the technology you bring in. And internet, not available, affordable, and accessible to still a lot more people. Even in the city like Hyderabad, there are students who come from slums, whose parents' income is maybe a few hundreds per day. How are they going to meet these things is not easy, even in urban areas. Slow internet speed is the biggest failure of online teaching is happening. And on the net, only limited content is available. My experience cannot be bought into online. Because so many questions, you may not get it. I have one question at this point of time. What is the difference between ignorance and indifference? Any one of you?
Ignorance is something like where we can leave the matter like that, sir.
Mm-hmm. And indifference?
It is different.
Mm-hmm. One more person, I'll give a chance. What is the difference between ignorance and indifference? Okay, let me give the answer. Answer is very simple. Ignorance is I don't know. Indifference is I don't care. Indifferent attitude on the ignorance is I don't know. Indifference is I don't care. Make answer simple. Answer should be short, sweet, and crispy. Students can easily remember. If you give a long answer, please understand the difficulty they have to mug up all that. Make interesting. That's what you should think about it. And everyone is not able to use technology. Some of these students who come from poor family backgrounds, they cannot use technology. You need to. And online teaching requires smartphones, which cannot be affordable by everyone. That's why some of these people are going and buying second-hand smartphones, second-hand laptops, all this is happening. I don't know. These days, when we order laptops, we are not getting on time. The institute where I worked in the past, that institute has ordered, because everywhere we give laptops to students. We ordered 500 laptops. That is about 4 months ago. Till today, it is not delivered. It's only 100 pieces delivered. There's tremendous, huge requirement. Manufacturing is stopped because of the corona situation, and we are finding shortage. And it creates a sense of isolation in these online classrooms. And it requires active learner. Learner's role becomes important here. The student role becomes important here. And responsible for own learning. These are some of the disadvantages of online teaching methodology. I would suggest we need to have a blended learning, that is blended teaching and learning process of online and offline combination has to be brought in. That's the reason the government is thinking of weekly 2 days we have regular classrooms, remaining 4 days online, because our physical infrastructure will not be able to cater if we ask all students to come to the school. So that's why that combination they're working on it. Maybe 2 days in a week they'll come to the school and remaining days we do online. Some combination they're trying to work out. It could consist of class workshops, online quizzes, expert talks, based discussions, teaming and debating, a combination that is going to happen. Subject-based vocabulary can be given for 1 minute contribution, like jam session and just a minute sessions can be done in online platforms. Those things can be done. Material can be shared well in advance. As I said, why don't you write 4 to 6 lines what you're going to discuss in next class a day in advance. Material can be shared well in advance and ask them to read and come prepared so that they can catch up this online class, what is happening it. Storytelling is also a way of teaching it. Among the participants, must connect to the given topic or subject. What is the story you're bringing? Connect to the subject, what you're teaching it. All this is going to happen. Another question I have at this point of time. Are you intelligent or intellectual? What is the difference between these two words? Are you intelligent or intellectual? I see 68 people are logged in. I want only 2 of you. Are you intelligent or intellectual? What is the difference between these two? All these words we use every day. All the questions what I've been asking is we use every day. They're not new to us. I'm not blaming you. Please don't listen. Now, I have a session how to overcome this also, because I must give the session also. Each one of you, when you come to school, post 2 questions in your WhatsApp group. Question should look easy, answer is difficult to tricky. That kind of question start posing in your WhatsApp group. In the next 1 year, you will start putting 100 questions to me. That will happen. Take it from me. It will be a win-win situation to all the teachers among themselves, and in turn you start sharing with the students. It will be good. Your school will have better advantage than the other schools if you can start this. Every day each of the teacher can post 2 questions in the WhatsApp group. Initially start with teachers alone, start discussing, interacting. And once you got mastery from the next academic year, you say, yes, now you will include students also. It will be good vocabulary. If you have vocabulary, you can play around with the language. That will be the advantage. You can have it. The last question I have is, what is the difference in creative thinking and critical thinking? We have developed thinking skills of the students. Creative thinking and critical thinking. Any 2 of you? Don't worry, nobody is assessing here. You don't know.
Sir.
Switch off principal's computer, so don't worry. Principal is not there. Yeah.
Sir, creative thinking is something like art of thinking, sir. It has to come from the mind. So, sorry for critical thinking, sir. Critical thinking is something like it's typical to think and typical to do the tasks, sir. And that's it, sir, from my end.
Any other person? One more person? I always give it a chance to 2 people.
Critical thinking is analyzing logical situation when situations are tough, making decisions.
Madam, please respect my age. I'm already 67. I can't remember such long answers. That's my problem.
Critical thinking is judgmental, and whereas creative thinking can be non-judgmental.
Critical means already existing condition we have to view. Critical is already existing. Creative is we are going to create something new, sir.
Okay, fine. We stop there. Thank you. We stop there.
Thank you, sir.
Let me give the answer. Make it answer simple, I'm telling you repeatedly. Creative thinking is divergence. Critical thinking is convergence. Over. Creative thinking, let the ideas come in. All that list on blackboard or whiteboard or flip chart. Divergence. Creativity is coming up. Each student comes with his own answers. Let them have it. At the end of it, finally you analyze, start discarding which is not relevant to the context, and finally select the one which is implementable in a given situation. That is convergence has to happen. So creative thinking is divergence and critical thinking is convergence. Make answers simple, short, sweet, crispy. Students can easily remember things. If you use examination hall, yes, that. One more question, sorry, I have. What is the difference between test and examination? Since you are troubling students, your students told me this morning they all came to my house. There are all the teachers trouble with so many tests every day. Please trouble them, they told me. What is the difference in test and examination? Yes, my dear teachers.
Yeah, so test means just like you short forms. Examination means the theoretical questions like.
I see. Okay. Next, one more person.
Sir, exam means we are checking the knowledge of a student in the form of a test so that they can gain the marks.
Okay.
Examination is testing the student in various kinds. Test is only a particular kind.
Fine, there we stop.
Formal and informal, sir.
Please, now let me give the answer. Test is what we call is component testing it. Like unit-wise testing, chapter-wise testing. Examination is a comprehensive understanding of the entire subject together, subject as a whole. That's what is examination. That's why we say blood test and urine test. We don't use the word examination. Please note this. In any physical, let's say your mobile phone or laptop or any equipment you take it. Each component wise we do test it. When we all components together integrated, we do examination. Examination is a comprehensive understanding of the entire subject. That's where examination is. Another question. When do you say testing is successfully done? You are conducting so many tests to your children. When do you say testing is successfully done? When do you say testing is successfully done? Any two of you, please? There are 68 people are there online.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
According to me, if we conduct any test, if everyone performed very well in the test, then we say the test is successfully done.
Okay, fine. One more person.
Based on the quality, sir. Quality, reliability.
When the outcome is correct, then the test is successful.
No, madam, sorry. Test is considered successful if it can find one more defect which has not been detected so far. Test is successful if it can detect one more defect which has not been detected so far. Defect is unity. That's the reason all these people, when you buy a product, washing machine or a TV or what, or refrigerator, whatever you buy it, none of them giving you guarantee. What they give is warranty. Guarantee means my product will not fail. If it fails, I will do free of cost replacement without asking questions. They are giving warranty subject to a number of terms and conditions, and they will only do repair. They will not replace it. Because in such a complicated circuits, today's circuits is increasing it, it is difficult to give the guarantee. That's the reason even in our school level, before the students go and write the public examination of a 10th class, you conduct what is called pre-final exam. Pre-final exam is much more tough than the final exam because you don't want your school results to come down. That's why you make it tough, so students will put in more effort, extra effort, which is required to perform better in the final exam. Our job as testers to make to fail. A tester is testing is successful if it can find one more defect not been detected so far. Then say that testing is good. There is no product which somebody can say it's a guaranteed product. Sorry, not possible. So that's where testing is. Yeah, let me now conclude with just summarizing what are the do's and don'ts. Let me start with do's. Use the restroom before your online session begins. And log into the meeting early before time. Remind everyone in your home to stay quiet during the entire session of 1 hour. They should not create disturbance. And mute your mic when you sign in online class. When you have to speak, yes, you can unmute yourself. Some of you are logged in with different names. That's not correct. You have to register with your name only. So sign in with your first name and have a paper and pen next to you so that you can make notes while teaching it. And because I should know who is the person who is responding it. If you put some dummy names, I don't know who is doing that. And be aware of your clothing and items in your home, whatever is visible in the camera view. Stay focused. Keep the camera on and actively participate, speak up to the audience. Keep all food items, toys away from workspace. They should not be visible in the camera angle, is what you need to know. And use the lights to your advantage to sit with, if there's no lighting there, sit in front of window so that your face has lighting. Before I move on to the don'ts, what I talked about do's, let me talk about don'ts. Before I move on to don'ts, one session I have. Generally in a classroom, there are 3 types of students. The first couple of benches, they are more bookish, they're more serious, more focused. Middle benches with little push, they can also perform well. The problem comes with the last benches. Generally, teachers say, same with faculty in the colleges also, they say, those fellows are useless. Never use these kind of words, please. It was never about a better student. It was never about better students. It is always making a student better is our job. I repeat again, it was never about a better student. It is always making a student better is our job. We have been paid for that. We have to transform those boys and girls. I give a simple example for that. Imagine for a moment you have your own 3 biological children, of which 2 are born normal, 1 child born with some defect. What we do as a parents? We give more time, more money, more research to the 3rd child who is born with some defect than the other 2 children. The same thing you do in the classroom. Those last benches who are weak, who have some problems, please give little extra time to those boys and girls. That is how we can also mold them as good citizens of this country. We can transform. Even the toughest fellow, we can transform it, I'm telling you. When we're able to change at the college level, why you cannot change at the school level? School level is very easy. They can mold it easily. College level, you're changing it. I'll share an experience. In 2005, we started the concept of mentoring in our college. And majority of my colleagues did not take seriously. I thought, let me try seriously. The students are allotted to me. I called them. I said, I'm willing to spare my time for you beyond the college timings to sit with you and explain everything, whatever is possible from my side. And I said, you decide whatever the 3 days in a week you want it, I'm available. They discussed and came back to me saying that, sir, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will meet. I said, yes. 1.5 hours, we meet these 3 days, and this will continue till the end of the year. And we started doing that. More in terms of employability, I was working on it. So each of the subjects, what were the possible questions, what are the kind of answers, we were discussing all this. Also, we did practice on aptitude tests, group discussions, mock interviews, all that we had done it. And so same was continued till I left my job in 2014. Don't think job was easy. In one of the batches, one student was most irregular. I was trying to catch him. Why don't you come here, attend this class? It's free. You are not paying anything. Even if I don't do this job, my management is not going to throw me out of the job. I'm doing on my own interest. Why don't you come? And he used to always tell me, sir, that tomorrow is never come. And every time I was catching him and asking, one day he got angry and he shouted at me. Aim sir, dimag to know. You know, in my engineering, in the last 4 years, I have not gone to college even 4 months. Why are asking to come here every day? Because I teach in a B school. Like Vigyan Jyoti Institute of Management, I worked in Institute of Public Enterprise. The similar schools there. And I said, fine. He shouted at me. I didn't lose my coolness. I said, yes, fine. You're not gone there in the college BTech. At least now you come here regularly so that your future can be safe. I was a failure. Let me accept it. I thought I'll take the help of their parents, so I spoke to his father on phone. Sir, this is what extra class I'm doing. It's free. Tuition కాదని డబ్బుల కోసం చేయట్లేదు. మీ పిల్లవాడిని అటెండ్ కమ్మనండి. మనిషిని వాడి జీవితాన్ని బాగుపడుతుంది. Ask him to attend. Promptly reply came from the parent. He said, sorry sir, I cannot do anything. If you can do something, please do it. If you cannot do it, leave him. That's all. వాడితో నేనేం చేయలేనండి అని చెప్పేశాడు. Look at how much of frustration parents would have had. But somewhere my sixth sense says this boy has a talent. I went all the way to his house early morning, 6 o'clock. From my house to his house, about 20 kilometer distance. Knocked the door. His father came out. He asked me, who are you? Naturally, I'm saying, are on the phone. Oh, I see. Sir. I said, no, I'm going to come to your house every day. This is also free of cost. And ask your son to attend this class at least. Or daily, believe me, trust me, I went only 2 days. Second evening, that boy came to me, sir, please don't come to my house. I'll come to you whenever you want. And after that, more or less, regularly attended all the classes. At the end of, during the campus recruitment, this boy got the highest pay packet. We can transform if you're sincere, honest. And these students will remember you lifelong because you changed their life. That's what is the thing. And you'll be able to see a son or daughter in him or her, whatever it is. Tomorrow, your own children may or may not come at the last stage of your life. If these students come to you, they'll come running to take care of you. Believe me, trust me, this happens. So that's what. So having talked about do's, let me go to the don'ts. Don't get up and go out to use the facilities. Don't come unprepared to the class. Don't come late to the class, even as online class. Never lose your temper. There may be sometimes noise in the classroom. Some children may make noise, or at their home, somebody else is making noise that's creating disturbance. Tell them politely to mute their mic. And whatever you're speaking, let everyone hear what is going on to sign into the online school. Let them know what you're speaking should be clear to all of them. Spashtata undali cheppedadu. You need to take care of it. And don't wear questionable clothes. You need to have appropriate clothes for you. And don't turn the camera and keep walking around. No. Please stay only for 1 hour. Why can't you sit properly and then do that? And don't lose focus. Online classes are scheduled for learning purpose. Why are we conducting an online class? Learning. Don't lose the focus. Don't chit chat, anything else. Don't move away from the camera angle. You need to face the camera angle. And otherwise, you need to have a clear light on your face. Otherwise, shadow it will not show you. My dear teachers, online teaching is here to stay. It's not going to go away even after a pandemic scenario. It may happen on and off, will happen. And some of the teachers who are really serious, though they may be on leave, they'll say, they'll request the principal that one classroom, please give it to me. I will conduct this online class. I don't want my children to miss it. These things are going to happen. Take it from me. All this is going to be reality. In a college environment, is going to much more is going to happen. So online teaching here to say, we need to join this bandwagon. We need to learn these technologies. We need to start implementing technologies. With these few words, I'd like to thank your college management for giving this wonderful opportunity of sharing my little knowledge with all of you. May God bless all of you. I'm open to the questions. Organizers, please take over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening us. Really, we are very fortunate to have session with you today.
Thank you for coming and giving the valid suggestions for the classroom.
Thank you.
And I am very much thankful to you.
Thank you. I'm looking for questions, not thank you.
Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. It's okay, sir. You can ask me, ask us, sir.
No, I want them, if they have any doubts, they can clarify it.
My dear colleagues, if you have any doubts, you can open up. You feel free to ask, sir.
Otherwise, I'll put questions. Be ready for that. So don't give me a chance to put questions. You better ask questions.
You want to give the chance to sir to ask questions? to ask the questions to sir. You decide yourself. Right?
Okay, I have a question. What is the difference between creativity and innovation?
Creativity and innovation.
Yes. Please do not mistake me. I'm not here to question your knowledge. Sorry, that's not my intention. I only wanted to know that how much more we need to learn.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's the objective of questioning it. Not that who am I to test your knowledge. No, sorry, that's not my intentions at all. Learning is endless. Like we have been told, art is long, life. Art is long, life is short. Let's do as much as we can.
Creativity can be imagination, sir. Innovation can be new.
Invention, then what is invention then?
Innovation.
Yeah, I asked innovation, but you're talking to invention. Don't worry. No problem.
Invention, innovation is same, sir.
Huh? Yes, madam, please tell. Invention and innovation are the same.
Yes, sir.
No, sorry. No. Anyway, find out. It's your job to find out.
Creativity is coming up with new ideas.
Yes.
Innovation is already existing things. We are creating the new one using the available products. That is it.
No, think about it. Think about it.
Innovation is doing, sir. The creativity is a thought.
Okay. No, sorry, I'm not happy. This question, I will not give the answer.
Sir, innovation is something.
I can't be doing spoon feeding. Yes, somebody wanted to answer.
Yes,
Radhika, madam. Yes.
Yes, sir. Innovation is something like implementing the things of creative thinking, sir.
No.
Sir,
Anyway, let me conclude with a statement. A teacher is a lifelong learner. Please note this. You are a lifelong student. In Sanskrit, it is said, Adhyana to Upadhyana. Unless you do Adhyana, you cannot do Upadhyana. You need to constantly update your knowledge. Update or outdate, choice for you to decide it. You name any subject, a lot of developments are happening. Because the teacher is the crucial link between the past, present, and future. We are preparing for future citizens. We have to bring in the latest content. Adhyana to Upadhyana, Shodhana to Parishodhana. Search for more and more knowledge. Your school library, huge books are there, thousands of books are. How much we're utilizing that? Shodhana to Parishodhana, you can do research. Acharana to Pracharana, put to practice things. And then convert it as a paper and publish it in your life. You need to do that. Why are we going to take up this job as teachers to transform the boys and girls? Asayam undali, anveshinche manasthatvam undali, ఆలోచన చేయగలగాలి, అవకాశాన్ని మీకు ఇచ్చింది, ఆచరణలో పెట్టండి. When you combine all this, అద్భుతాలను సృష్టించగలరు. You can create wonders. All that is in your hands. ఆశయం ఉన్నదా? ఈ రోజున యూత్ ఏం చేస్తుంది? లక్ష్యాన్ని నిర్లక్ష్యం చేసేస్తున్నారు. You need to have a goal clarity, for which you need to have a role clarity. Anveshincham, search for more and more knowledge. So much knowledge to gain. Even our own subject, forget about all others, even that. You need to learn more. Alochana, your thinking skills are develop it. You need, when you're reading any book, you need to have 4 sights. You need to have sight, you need to have insight, you need to have a hindsight, you need to have foresight. Not only sight, insight to read in between the lines. A lot of hidden meanings are available. Hindsight, recall your past knowledge and experience. You need to have foresight, what's required for tomorrow has to be learned today. Let me put it in English. Sight, insight, hindsight, and foresight. Drishti undali, anta drishti undali, sukshma drishti undali, dura drishti undali. That is how you need to learn the subjects, what are subjects you are teaching it. Lot more to learn, lot more. We can make subjects simplified to these children. Relate the examples from the real life environment. Maybe from the cricket ground, maybe from the movie ground. Subject, depending on the context in which you can bring in those things. Can be done. Like there's one movie, Sai movie in Pokundi. In the game, when the team lost it, they came back to room. I think the actor was Rajiv Kanikala. Nitin was the hero, if I remember correctly. The way he inspired them to go back and fight and won the battle. That is how our job is. Sometimes students get depressed, demotivated. It's for us to bring them back and encourage them. So bring in some stories, depending on the context, the story can be quoted in the classroom. Nothing wrong with that. If it is related to the topic, what you're delivering, otherwise no. Yes. If no questions, organizers, please take over now.
Vaidya Venkatrao sir, can you speak few words about this session?
Is very glad to hear from Sri Sai Kumar for all those things what he has explained. But like that, I'm having one friend, Mr. E.S.R.K. Prasad, who is a retired lecturer at Laila College, and he is a devoted lecturer to get so many students in the doctors, as a doctors and well. We're always proud about the lecturers. And do you know one more thing? When I am studying in Laila College, one lecturer, Mr. Krishna Rao, professor of physics department, as well as in English, Isaac, when they are giving teaching lessons in the classroom, other students is coming and sitting, standing and outside and hearing. That means they are dedicated. Whatever the dedication of the teacher is the most important in the life of everybody. So always we should have more gratitude towards teachers to learn and come up very well. This is what I learned, and what Sai Kumar also today advised all of us. It's a very good lecture. We are very, very happy to hear. Thank you very much to arrange these things. And I want to learn something now. I got a lot of knowledge from Sai Kumar's speech. Thank you very much, Principal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatra Garu.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, really, I'm very sure from today our teachers, totally they are well equipped with the virtual online classes and very effective classroom management they follow from today. I'm assuring on behalf of my teachers and my management, it's really worthwhile for your session, sir. We'll make it compulsory. In future, I request you from our management side and our teacher side, if your time permits, can we have many sessions like this?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you, Margaret. Thank you
sir.
for you for
So,
giving
sir.
valuations for our faculty members. We are very glad to happy, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once
Bye.
again. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye.
Can we conclude the session, sir?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. I request all the teachers, you can.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.